Megyn Kelly teases that there's more truth coming about Bari Weiss while confirming they are no longer friends, okay? And I'll read both of these stories and see what's going on here. And I think this is something we need to be talking about. So let's go through this. Megyn Kelly has declared that there's more truth coming about regarding CBS News editor-in-chief Bari Weiss. Kelly, 55, made the claim this is a Daily Mail story in a cryptic post message on X after launching a shocking broadside against Weiss, 41 this week in an interview with Vanity Fair. Humberto, if you have a clip on that, prepare us for it. Kelly told the magazine that Weiss and another former friend, Ben Shapiro, were unwittingly fueling a recent rise in anti-Semitism by clamping down on certain rhetoric. Weiss shared a speech Shapiro gave at Turning Point USA America Fest on Thursday that criticized conservatives for not disavowing Candace Owens on her news site, the Free Press, a few days before. The speech singled out Kelly specifically, and the Free Press piece was titled "Only Cowards Tolerate Conspiracy Theorists." Bari Weiss calling Megyn Kelly a coward. If you read the code language, that's what it sounds like. The characterization was clearly on Kelly's mind Tuesday as she responded to an inquiry from a Frank Luntz pollster about the tone of the Vanity Fair piece. Given she and Weiss were once friends, I was reliably informed this week that it is cowardly not to call out your friends. Not to call out your friends with the unvarnished truth about their defects, Kelly wrote, making a reference to how Shapiro 41 accused her of cowardice in his own speech. So my days of being polite friend are over, and there's more truth coming. This is Megyn Kelly saying to that. And then Bari Weiss, I'll read the next story of what happened here. Bari Weiss, a very public break with Megyn Kelly came after Kelly quietly rebuffed weeks of behind-the-scenes lobbying to appear in CBS debate with Call Her Daddy podcaster Alex Cooper. According to a report, Weiss courted Kelly to take part in a high-profile feminism debate at CBS News, prepared to roll out a new town hall series under Weiss's leadership. Vanity Fair reported Kelly declined a rejection that preceded Weiss's decision to promote Ben Shapiro's onstage broadside. Weiss took to social media and amplified Ben Shapiro's speech. Owens, the influential podcaster, made a name for herself of Shapiro's Daily Wire. Kelly, okay. So anyways, Vinny, I'm going to come to you first, okay? And then, actually, Tom, let me see here. Give me a second, guys. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Tom, I'm going to come to you first, and then I'll go to Adam, then Vinny. When you see this here with Bari Weiss, Megyn Kelly, a week ago was Ben Shapiro, Megyn Kelly are no longer friends. A week later is Bari Weiss and Megyn Kelly are no longer friends. What do you think about these issues that are taking place on the conservative? I don't even know if I put Bari Weiss as a conservative. She's probably a libertarian independent. What do you think about the feud that's taking place?
Well, the crowd is fracturing, and it may be fracturing for what each person feels is good and right reasons from their own perspective, but they're not unifying behind a common enemy, nor are they coming together and moderating behind it. You look behind each one of them, and Bari Weiss, you kind of know she came from Free Press, big payday. Now she's supposed to drive CBS. There's a lot of things she can and can't do at CBS. She took an executive producer decision a week ago I thought was strong that said, hey, man, I want to make sure stories are complete. And the rest of the media didn't respect her editor-in-chief position because they wanted her to run with a story that was anti-Trump. Now, what did she do with that? Only she knows, and she needs to say more about it. On the other hand, you've got Ben Shapiro, who we know what he's all about. We know his Israel stance. And then you have Megyn Kelly. Actually, I think there's a degree of authenticness going on with Megyn Kelly about, what? If this is the way it's going to be, maybe I don't have friends over here or over there. Maybe she's coming out more of a Walter Cronkite. I don't know, but it's concerning to me that there's not a unified platform. You can at least unify on a platform and get beyond your differences. And right now, people are fracturing, and it's not going to help for midterms. And I don't think it's, I don't think it's healthy to a unified message. This is crying out for someone to kind of moderate in the middle and get all these kids together. They're looking for a Phil Jackson. The conservative movement doesn't know it, but it's looking for a Phil Jackson that can make Scottie Pippen play with Dennis Rodman, one of the most gifted defenders of all time, but an absolute handful. But guess what? The right coach got him to work well with the team, and they won championships. That's what I see coming here in the bigger picture.
Okay, Adam, thoughts?
So Megyn Kelly has a massive voice, but Bari Weiss now has power. She's running CBS, is she not? And she just got a check for $100-something million for her daily press. To me, this comes down to Megyn Kelly's going to learn a lesson that, you stand in the middle, you're going to get run over. You're going to have to pick a side. So everyone wants to shit on Ben Shapiro. Oh, he's Jewish. He's pro-Israel. All right, forget about that. Let's just call a spade here. Who's attacking Candace Owens these days? Everybody. The most notorious conspiracy theorist of all time, Alex Jones, is now dedicating his sole life mission to exposing the bullshit that Candace parrots every single day. Alex Jones, ladies and gentlemen. Alex Jones is now calling her Black Q, like QAnon. Alex Jones. Think about that for a second. Next person, the most logical actor, I think, at the Daily Wire, non-emotional, is Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh just eviscerated Candace Owens. By the way, step by step by step by step with a scalpel. And he says, by the way, I'm still friends with Candace, but damn, is she wrong. Andrew Colvin came out there and basically denied that there was anything to do with Bibi Netanyahu on $150 million. So at some point, Candace is going to have to look in the mirror and be like, there's nobody with me except for literal Israel haters or moms who are bust out their popcorn and watch this like I watched Scooby-Doo when I was a kid. That's it. So at some point, Candace is going to have to look in the mirror and be like, yeah, nobody's with me anymore. It started with Tim Pool and maybe myself, but now you got Alex Jones calling you out? Lady, read the room. Now, Tucker Carlson, they love him in the conservative movement. That's great. But Tucker Carlson is his new name. What is this Qatar bullshit? You don't have to be friends with Israel. You don't have to like Israel. I don't care. But to try to twist the narrative and be like, guys, Qatar's our friend. Qatar is a terrorist sympathizing oil-rich kingdom that's buying out. It already bought Europe and it's attempting to buy America. And Tucker just pretends that we're not going to notice what BS he's spewing. If Tucker said the other day, listen, I buy a house in Qatar because I respect them. I buy a house in Qatar because I like what they're doing. But to say you buy a house in Qatar because you're an American, buddy, buy a house in Detroit, buy a house in Boston. To me, that's absolute BS. Now, the last point is this. This all comes down to Turning Point USA, the speeches that were given. So here are the numbers based on Turning Point. You don't have to believe it or not. This is Blake Neff, I believe is his name, showing the numbers within Turning Point, how they feel about Israel. I would love to not talk about Israel. I have like people have Trump derangement syndrome. People have Israel derangement syndrome. Love to not talk about Israel, but they want to keep talking about it. Here are the numbers. 33% of the conservatives at Turning Point say Israel is the top ally, 1/3. 53% say Israel is one of the top allies. And then you have this fringe movement, 13%, who says Israel's not an ally. Good luck with the fringe. Forget about the fringe. Root out the cancer, and let's focus on conservatives. And here's the big kicker. Winning the midterms, because the real enemy is the radical left that wants to burn down America, that is teaming up with the Islamic right. The red and green merger, the strange bedfellows of Marxist Islamists, that's the real enemy, not the conservatives that you may disagree with.
Vinny, thoughts?
And I think I said this last week. Again, all roads, this all comes to criticizing Israel. If you saw the last video with Megyn Kelly and Charlie Kirk, God rest his soul, when it was like, can you believe this, Megyn? They're calling me, Charlie Kirk, an anti-Semite, and her as well. And by the way, these are the two biggest Zionists. They got attacked, Adam, because they dared to criticize Israel. And here's the problem with that. We, everybody, conservatives, we bash America, we bash Mexico, we bash the UK, we bash Chile, Venezuela, we bash everybody Why does Israel think they get a free pass? And that's the one problem, Adam. I criticize everybody, but why is it that if you criticize Israel, you're anti-Semitic, the ADL goes after you? That word has been thrown around so much. It's like calling Trump Hitler. Hitler has lost its sting. It's like just because they want to criticize doesn't mean they hate Jews as a freaking whole. That's the disconnect. You can criticize Israel. I've criticized Israel. Do I think that we need them and they're very freaking where they are, especially strategic to the United States? Of course. You can't be that blind and that stupid for your hatred for the government to hate the people as a whole. That's like me criticizing Bibi, Adam, but you're saying, oh, then I hate all Jews. That means I hate Adam. No. And then calling to deplatform is stupid. And I just think, too, the voices that are pushing this movement, bro, you know why Ben Shapiro's losing so many freaking subscribers and followers? Do you know why Mark Levin, bro, Rabbi Shmuley, they need a freaking internal cleansing of just these voices that are not popular. Bari Weiss, I like. She's actually doing her thing. She's wedging in there. She's doing it. She's successful. She's not sit there saying, deplatform this and take away this and do that. That's the problem I think that we're seeing, because Megyn Kelly, bro, she's pissed off because she's successful. She knows what she's doing. She doesn't want to be told what to do. You shouldn't talk to this person. You shouldn't talk to that person. That's why I think the disconnect is, Pat. It's the taboo of even trying to criticize Israel. I get what you're saying, Adam. The whole Israel killed Charlie and all that. Put all that nonsense, soap opera BS, Candace stuff to the side. You have to be able to criticize. You have to be able to let people state their case. Just like when Pat had on Nick Fuentes. Good. Let him talk. Let these people talk. If we're free speech absolutists, I want to hear them. I don't want to deplatform them. Let them talk and let the market decide. That's where I'm at. Pat.
Well, can I respond to one thing?
No, Adam. No, Adam. Yeah. Let me say a couple thoughts because we're getting to the end of it. So here's what I would say to you. Remember, this is not a Tucker Candace story. This is a Bari Weiss, Megyn Kelly story.
Yes.
I want to stay focused on the Bari Weiss, Megyn Kelly story, staying there. Okay. So, Megyn Kelly, Bari Weiss, these two, what role did they play in Trump winning in 2024? Bari Weiss was formerly with New York Times. Who went and did the Twitter files? Who was part of Twitter files? Who would have named the people that did Twitter files?
Matt Taibbi, Schellenberger, Michael Schellenberger, Elon Musk.
And Bari Weiss. Bari Weiss was part of Twitter files. Mm-hmm. If you go look at the reports that was coming in, she was one of the ones that, by the way, this is a woman that was a liberal. This is a woman that is not by the way, is she straight?
I don't
know if she's straight, but she definitely was the editor, I think, at the New York Times, and she wrote basically a Jerry Maguire type letter, basically saying, "I can't stand for this nonsense." Yeah, at New York Times.
So here's the way I see it, right? Here's the way I see it. Let me just verify this. I don't want to start rumors, and we don't know what's going on. I thought I had read somewhere of where she's at. There's no public very public. Okay, got it. So there's nothing on her sexual orientation, but I don't know if I've where she's at on her personal life. Did she play an important role in Trump winning? Yes. Did Megyn Kelly play an important role? Don't forget when Megyn Kelly reunited with the president and went on stage with him, and she came up. Remember that message when Megyn Kelly came up? Mm-hmm. And it was like, because all we think about Megyn Kelly and then Trump is what? Only Rosie O'Donnell. Mr. President. No, that's not true. Because she came out hard with that being the first opening question. So guess what? Megyn Kelly, made up with the president, and it was great. Bari Weiss played a very important role on helping the president win. I can give a lot of different names. I think here's what's going on, and a few things that, everybody needs to be okay with. It's okay to debate issues. You guys remember for me, it was like when we're negotiating with China, and I said, listen, if I was the president and I'm dealing with China and we're doing anything with tariffs, I would say the following. You got to allow Facebook, YouTube, and X to be in China. No, I'm not going to let you. Okay, great. Then guess what? You don't have free press. So I don't know what you're doing to your people. I don't know how people are working. I don't know if you have all these sweatshops. I don't know how you're making people work for such little money. You have to give us free press. No, I'm not going to do it. No problem. Then we can't do certain things together. Guess what? Israel, you're our ally. We've done a lot for you. You've done your fighting in the Middle East. Don't get me wrong. You got a very good intel agency. But what happened to those 260 journalists? Why don't you allow people to open up and share different stories? Why not? You're above that? What, you need to have immunity over that? I don't think so. So I think there's a place there to challenge that part too. We can debate that. Then we can also debate the fact that, would you say most of these Ivy League presidents are pro-Israel? No. Well, what were they doing? You think they're for Israel? No. Well, what do you think they were allowing to do? Destroying your schools and universities, and all these people are giving you all this support, and you're not taking all this money from China, and you're taking money from these guys that hate America, and then those kids who are Jewish going to school should also not feel worried and afraid. That's not okay. We should debate that as well. We should debate America only, America first. We should debate these things. And by the way, to all these players, you're all important. Everybody is playing an important role. FYI, everybody is bought. Let me explain what I mean by that. Some are bought by whoever they work for, which is, Sirius XM or Spotify, whatever it is. Some are bought by countries like Qatar that are giving them money. I don't know who those people are, but we know for a fact they're playing the game. Some are bought by George Soros. Some are bought by Israel. Some are bought by big private equity firms. And you know who some people are bought by? Their customers.
Yep.
And let me say this to you. You are our customers, okay? You are our listeners. Everybody has their loyalty to somebody and something. We're trying to be loyal to our truth and what we believe is important to us. I'm a Christian man. This is what I am, okay? I'm married. I got 4 kids. I love America. This country changed my life. It invited me in. Do you know what happens when somebody invites you in as a guest? I'm a guest here. I wasn't born here. I'm grateful for everything this country gave me. But I'm a guest. I'm not going to get it twisted and not realize that I'm a guest here. And I took advantage of the opportunities America gave me. And I would like this place to stay as the greatest country in the world. That's going to take a lot of work and effort. But there's also another part with this, Tom, that I believe is going on today. It kind of goes back to that story about the grandma that left a note. The grandma that left a note. There's a
Bigger purpose.
I wish Charlie would have done a 10-hour recording and set it aside to play for Republicans and conservatives if in case he were to die, to give a unifying message, Vinny.
Yeah.
And in a movie, Ultimate Gift, Jim Stovall writes this book. Red Stevens in the book dies a billionaire, but he records 13 videos and he plays the video saying, if you're watching this, it's because I'm dead and my lawyer is playing this video for you. And it's all his family members and relatives are watching this conversation. So when you see this, what do you take notice? Here's what you take notice. Right now, Republican Party is divided. Why? Nobody's bringing them together. And there's this competition. Wait a minute. Is Bari Weiss now more powerful than Megyn Kelly? Yes, she is. Say whatever you want to say. She is more powerful. She built a business that CBS bought from her. Megyn Kelly is a content creator, and she's phenomenal at it. She's probably the modern day closest thing we have in America today to Walter Cronkite. That's Megyn Kelly, but that's the positioning. Bari Weiss became an operator, a manager, an executive, a CEO, an entrepreneur, managing employees and other people. That's a lot of work. That's not easy to do. So that's the part where Bari Weiss can she's both the interviewer and the content creator and the manager. She's becoming a power player. You can say whatever you want to say. She's becoming a massive power player, and the market's going to change in the next 2 or 3 years. Some people are not happy about that. There's an element of when you watch Inside the NBA and when people say, I cannot believe what these players are getting paid today. I cannot believe this name. Nobody even knows what this guy's name is. He got paid a $212 million contract. They did. They're making a lot of money. I cannot believe that other guy's doing this, and that. And Durant made all this money in his investments. Yes, he did. You can as well. So there's this element of envy and competition that's also going on. But you just have to realize you got to give credit to the guys that are doing big things. If Bari Weiss built a business and somebody cut a check for it, good for you. I celebrate it. If Megyn Kelly got a $100 million contract tomorrow from Sirius XM or what? If Joe Rogan got a $500 million contract, Charlemagne the God got a $200 million contract with iHeartMedia. I don't know how the hell iHeart's going to pay them when they got $3.5 billion of debt, but they're going to pay $200 million over 5 years, $40 million a year. If Stephen A. Smith gets a $120 million contract, a multi contract, if Pat McAfee gets a $127 million contract, celebrate it. It's great. They're kicking ass. We don't have a problem with that. But this next phase is going to be very interesting. And I hope eventually, while we hash through all these things that we're going through, somebody steps up and finds a way to call a meeting for everyone to come together. There is nothing more exciting than when I run into people that are wearing this gear, Merry Christmas, boldly. Mario's been wearing this every day, wherever he's going, the VT gear here, the future looks bright. And when you open it up here, it says future looks bright. I love seeing the future looks bright hat that Tom's got on, or you got the faith over fear gear. Record-breaking number of people are wearing the merch gear that we have with us. And there's some massive announcements that I'll be making here very, very soon to you guys, what our plans are going into 2026 with this of VT merch. We want tens of millions of people to represent this year. My suggestion to you, wear these things boldly. If you support our brand, you like what we do, you don't want us to take money from Qatar or some of these other organizations that are coming and offering money to own podcasts and shows, I highly recommend you support brands that are able to give their opinions and thoughts freely. And if you believe the future looks bright like we do, I am certain the future looks bright. Let me give you guys a crazy story. In 1997, Apple did $816 million of losses. Their top line revenue in 1997, they lost $816 million in 1997. Today, Apple makes $1.1 billion per day.
Wow.
They lost $1 billion in a year in 97. Today, they make $1.1 billion a day. They believe the future looks bright. Now they're a $4 trillion organization. For us, for some of you guys that may be celebrating Christmas, and honestly, maybe things weren't going right for you. Maybe I've had the Christmas when I'm sitting, I'm like, is anything going to turn around for me? Is life going to change at all? Like, is this how it's going to be? What am I going to get my break? You know that feeling how like you feel like, man, like you're carrying a lot, like the feeling of you go to Christmas and everybody's giving gifts. And it's like that one movie, 4 Christmases, where Dallas, Denver, all the brothers come in, and Vince Vaughn is the big brother that's making all this money now. And he brings the recent Xbox and he brings all this stuff. And he says, did you not see the minimum of $10? And the other guy, a flashlight. I don't know if you guys remember that scene. Sometimes that may be the Christmas. Things are not going right for you. Yesterday, Vinny was sharing a story with me, which is an incredible, incredible story that I want to share with you guys, which is what we believe in. Have you ever heard of a guy named Jack Strauss? You ever heard of Jack Strauss? Can you do me a favor, Humberto? Type in Jack Strauss, then put poker. Jack Strauss, Strauss, and type in poker. Craziest story of Jack Strauss. One day, Jack Strauss in 1982, this man that Humberto is about to pull up his picture because Humberto is so fast and quick and phenomenal. This guy's playing poker. This guy's playing poker in 1982. He's in a World Series poker tournament, okay? Right there. That man right there. Zoom in a little bit. He's in the 1982 World Series poker. You know the big tournament that people win $10 million? In 1982, that guy right there is getting off the table because he called all in and he has no chips left. He's thinking. He gets up to leave. And then all of a sudden they say, no, Jack, you have one last $500 chip left. He says, you're kidding me. They said, no. All right. I mean, you only got one chip left, $500, which is what? Nothing. He takes the $500 chip and he keeps doubling it and doubling it and doubling it and doubling it. Do you know what ends up happening to him? He wins the flipping 82 World Series poker.
Wow.
Did you hear the story? Well, some of you are watching this. You're like, dude, I'm down to my last chip. I'm trying to figure life out. I went all into my business. I took money out of my 401k. My wife and I wanted to start a restaurant. We did this. This Christmas was rough. We stayed home. We didn't go anywhere. We got some basic gifts, $10 Amazon gift cards. Life can turn around if you think long-term. That's what we believe in. That's what happened to every single one of us because we believe the future looks bright. So if you believe the future looks bright and you support our brand, go to vtmerch.com, place an order for yourself, whether it's the Merry Christmas gear, whether it's the future looks bright, faith over fear, or the shoes, FLB, We're excited about big plans we got in 2026, and I'll tell you more about it in the first week that we do the podcast in January of 2026.
If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.